Hello, everybody. Welcome to what episode is this now? It's episode
Uh,
6,
for
4. It's
yes,
not episode
so
4. Man. We've
yeah, the
had a bit
fourth
of
one.
technical issues.
We did record the fourth one with Xavier, but I was messing around with it and I accidentally deleted it, and I had no way to recover it. And the fifth one, we had many logistic issues. So yeah, this is the fourth one.
The thing is, it says,
The
Martin, in the
sixth,
right corner,
really?
it says uploading to the cloud. So shouldn't the other one be
Yeah, but
uploaded on the
we
side?
do not we don't have we don't have the paid tier, so yet.
Oh, we need to pay for that. Right. Okay, well, anyways, welcome to episode 4 of the Bro Science Podcast. Happy to have you here. It's the three of us today, which is great. Martin has moved around a bit. He's in Mexico now. How's it in Mexico, man? How have you enjoyed it?
Man, it's so good and at the same time it's so weird. Like there are some things that I really hate about
What?
Mexico, but
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what's the thing that
but
surprised you the most?
but the beaches are they compensate, so it's all good.
Dude, what do you hate about Mexico,
Say
man?
just name a couple things.
Man, just the payment systems are so bad and just nothing works. Everything is delayed. It's like it's it's like third world country,
But
Latin
isn't it
America, but it's worse
similar to
than
Chile
Chile.
in a sense? Oh,
No, it's
right.
way worse than Chile. It's way worse than Chile. And here's where I realized why everyone from Latin America speaks so well about Chile. We as Chileans don't see that, but coming here and being in Mexico for 2 weeks has made me realize how good we are in Chile.
Yeah, right.
Oh, like in terms of quality of life.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
still, you haven't gone to
everything.
the main. You haven't gone to the main cities in Mexico, right?
I have. I actually went to the two main cities, if I'm not wrong. I went to Guadalajara and I went to Mexico City. I also went to Puerto Vallarta. That's just beaches, beautiful beaches. I went to a wedding in Querétaro, and now I went to Cancun like for the last 2 days, and now I'm in del Carmen.
And how have
Uh,
the hostels been? Have they been a bit like scary at times, or
what was that, sorry?
how have the hostels been? Are they scary at all, or
No,
like
no,
the
not at
people
all.
there?
No, not at all, not at all. In Guadalajara, it was so good. Like the people were so nice, the stuff was so good. The place were super clean. But Guadalajara, I didn't like as a city that much. But then in Puerto Vallarta, it was like another world, like partying a lot, like meeting a lot of nice people. The hostel was amazing. The beach was amazing.
Yeah,
Like such a good
that's
experience.
awesome.
But I have felt like not that safe here in Mexico, but not in the hostels. Mainly like the city, in like the cities and some neighborhoods. Like they're like Mexico is pretty poor. I didn't have this conception before coming here.
Hmm.
Uh, Mexico is pretty poor,
Wow.
which is not always dangerous, but like there's certain kind of scenarios where you don't feel as safe as you could.
But wow, that's incredible coming from you, man. Does it
Mm.
does it get your adrenaline tingling? Does it get you excited? I know
In
you
a
love
way,
that, man.
it's like yeah, it's like okay, I could be probably in Europe right now and just walk safely, but but I'm here like like with tacos for 3 pesos. 3 pesos here are like
Jesus, what?
15 cents. For 15 cents,
No,
What?
I'm kidding.
you can get one taco. But those are like bad
I'd be
tacos.
so fat. I'd be so fat. We lost Charlie, but maybe
Yeah.
he wanted a taco so bad he fell off.
He just bought a ticket to Mexico and came here.
We completely lost Charlie.
No, but those are like
Um,
the cheapest tacos. Like the regular tacos are usually between 15 and 30 pesos, which is like between half a dollar and a dollar and a half.
that's crazy, man. I'd be so fat. I'd be so fat.
Okay, we have
Charlie's back
Chubby
with
back.
us. That's hilarious. Chavi, Chavi, that was hilarious, man. You were we were talking about tacos. We went like, what? And then you caught up, and
And
we
you just
lost you.
left.
And it looked like you were off to Mexico for a second.
Yeah. Nah, I actually just booked my flight. Nah. That's crazy, man. 15,
What?
was it 3 pesos? 3 tacos, man. That's sick.
That's great.
Bro, 3
That's
pesos?
super
In
nice.
Australia, I couldn't buy you a lollipop. Genuinely. Like,
Yeah, nowhere in the world. But
And
yeah,
it's
although
genuine Mexican tacos.
I was saying those are like bad tacos. Like probably you would get
Oh.
sick from them, probably. But they are there. You can eat them. Anyways, yeah, Mexico's been great. But I'm actually excited to go to Chile on Saturday.
You're coming on Saturday, man.
Yeah,
Do I see you on Sunday? Well, we'll see, man. We'll see.
maybe.
That's great to hear, man. And you, Chavi, you've been great. You were telling me before.
yeah.
It's awesome to hear. Yo, Martin, actually, I've been thinking about asking you about something. Just seeing you doing all this traveling. You went for a wedding, right, to Mexico. Um, it's incredible to see, man. And I know you've been able to do it thanks to all your struggle. I mean, not struggle, but your efforts in the work you do. Um, can you tell a bit to the audience about your university studies? Just so they know how you, just so you know how you got there in the first place, how you're able to finance all these great trips and tacos.
Non-existent, man. No university studies at all.
No university studies, man. That sounds really crazy. I wanted to ask you, what you think and what you guys think, both of you. You, Chavi, that you went through a traditional university system, as I understand, just as me. I'm still in it. You already graduated. And you, Martin, who's like who went directly to work. What have you thought about your passing through the early years in your early 20s, considering that or taking that into account, not studying in university and studying in university?
I don't know, man. I think for the past maybe between the 50s and 2000 and let's say 15, uh, it was like a must for most people because most jobs would not allow you to work for them, and it made sense because they had, for the most part, no way of knowing if you were able um, to do the job correctly or not, without them needing to put a lot of resources into it. Um, but I think there's been like a huge took off in terms of technology since, again, let's say 2015 might have been a bit earlier, might have been a little bit later, but I think in terms of technology now, technology has enabled us to consider university only as one of the many paths possible. Because of technology, globalization, and everything we're living now, we can study a lot of careers online. All of the material, anything you want to learn that is not like manual. Something there's like a weird noise.
Oh, sorry.
Everything that you want to learn that is not manual, you have all the resources online. That's my personal opinion. Even if you want to be like a surgery like doctor, you can still learn all the theoretical stuff online or with books or whatever. Probably you still need to do like the practice and everything. But for the most part, everything is online. But it does rely on your self-discipline and, let's say, motivation, even though it's not a concept that I think you should base yourself on. So everything, if you're motivated and disciplined and you have your goal set and everything, I think you, for the most part and for most careers, you should be able to accomplish them without a degree. Of course, there are many careers that won't allow you this because there are lots of bureaucracy. So, for example, if you want to be a plane pilot, even if you know everything that you need to know, even if you have a plane that you're able to fly, there are certain institutions that won't allow you to fly a plane if you don't have certain certificates. And same is for lawyers, same is for like doctors, and I think that that's a good thing. I think that does ensure some quality in those services that are so important. But for the other most part, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's super possible. It's a super good way. University is awesome for people that don't have a lot of self-discipline, but it's not a must nowadays, in my opinion.
That's an excellent point. The last thing you said, how universities, it's a great tool for people that don't have that sense of discipline and also don't exactly know what they want to do. I think those two profiles, people that don't know exactly what to do in their work life and that don't have a lot of discipline, university bodes very well for them.
Mm.
I disagree. I disagree on that one, man. I think if you don't know what to do, the worst thing you could do is get into a career that you don't think you will like, or you don't know
Yeah,
if you will like.
there's arguments towards that as well. But if you have a certain some sort of idea of what you want to do, and you're
Yeah,
not 100% sure, then
yeah.
um,
So if you like engineering, you like math and everything, you can get an engineering degree, and you will have like a super big space to find different jobs in. Like in that sense, I
yeah,
agree. But if you don't know at all what you want to do with your life, that is the case for a lot of people, then I don't think you should get into university right away. There are lots of things that you can do meanwhile. You can travel, you can just learn about everything. You can work in hosteleries and whatever. You can do things to find yourself. You can read. You can. I think you need to know what you want to do instead of doing before you know, if that makes any sense.
hmm.
I know Chavi will disagree though.
You know something really interesting to me? No, no, no. It's not that I disagree. There's a bit of like a common narrative that I see young people saying, if you don't know what you want to do, it's all right. Do something else. Go and travel. It's like travel is this some big massive thing that you completely discover yourself on. I just don't agree. Like I
I
think
do.
like travel is a luxury. Nah, man. I think travel is simply just a luxury, and it's just a
I
way to
disagree on
put
that as
yourself in
well.
unfamiliar scenarios, right?
I don't
And when
think
you put
travel is a
yourself in
luxury,
unfamiliar
man.
scenarios, then you start learning about yourself. But you could totally do that in a job. You could do it somewhere else where you live. Like you just have to learn to put yourself in different scenarios and be creative. I think people just lack creativity, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think Martin didn't refer to travel as. I mean, he even gave out some other examples, such as working or reading, where you find yourself. Um, would you take away from the fact that traveling does help you grow in a sense, too? I
No,
mean,
I was kind of just hitting on the point. Like, so many, you hear everyone say it. You hear, like, and because I hear everyone
mm,
say it, I question it, because people are sheep and they kind of follow each other, right? So when everyone says, you're in your 20s and you're finding yourself and, just don't go too hard on uni and work and go travel. It's going to be awesome. And man, like, it's just not the
Yeah.
case. Like,
I think
yeah,
we're
okay,
mixing
you can
stuff.
find yourself, sure, but like, remember, travel is just a vehicle. It's you internally. You can make the choice today where you are. You don't have to drastically change your location. That location actually isn't doing anything for you. It's you, like it's you putting yourself in an unfamiliar scenario, which I guess location makes things different. Sure, seeing, the Eiffel Tower might change your life, but like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I agree with you with what you said. I think it's an internal process, but I think that internal process can be triggered a lot of times during travels. I've seen it on myself. I've seen it in friends. I've seen it in strangers. And I don't think travel is a luxury. Travel could be a luxury if you try to go to like expensive hotels and expensive flights and expensive tour activities. But for the most part, all the trips that I do are super low cost, and I love that. I love that because you get like the most experiences out of it. Like I
Mm.
didn't pay more than $30 for 3 nights here in Playa del Carmen. That's one of the most famous beaches in the whole world. And I only paid
Mm.
$30 for 3 nights, so it's $10 a night. It's like, yeah, I guess that there's people that are not able to pay it, but I wouldn't say it's a luxury either. You, travel could be a luxury, but I don't think it's a luxury. And I think
Mm.
for the most part, it does trigger a lot of stuff, a lot of internal processes in you. But it's not the only way. I was just saying it's one of the many ways for you to find someone that you like. It could be
Mm.
reading, could be watching podcasts, could be even watching movies, could be working as a bartender, could be working in fast food, could be working, could be doing anything, man. Just
Yeah,
I agree with you.
absolutely.
Do whatever, do whatever, do
Yeah.
whatever, and keep changing that. Keep changing your environment until you have an idea on what you like, what you want to do with your life. But again, I agree with you that if you do a lot of stuff and you still don't know what you want to do, there might be something going on inwards you more than outwards.
Mm.
You know, uh, Charlie, do you want to reply? Looks like you're a bit lagged. Maybe you're just now
Yeah,
getting
super lagged.
What?
it.
What?
Okay, looks like you're
Yeah?
there, man. No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Okay.
Man.
Just-
Nothing happened, man.
You're super lagged,
Yeah.
man.
Lagged?
You know,
Like my screen?
just ask different people.
Yes, you.
I'm so confused,
You know, just
man.
as different people. I can't do it. Okay, I think you're back, man. I think you're back. Right? Give me a thumbs up, Charlie.
What are you saying?
me
You
a
said
thumbs
just
up,
as
please.
different people, man. I don't know. What?
Yeah, you're there, man. You're there. Thanks for the thumbs up. No, and I wanted to say, different people might react, different. No, I just wanted to go back to what Martin said about being triggered or triggering that internal state of change, triggering that internal state of development. And for some people, like you said, it may be movies. For others, it may be the location. Um, like for example, I feel like in my case, it's not so much the location as it is, like you said, listening to a podcast or being with people that like feed me a lot of new experiences and make me want to live them myself. But that's also a cool part of growing up, like realizing what things or what experiences trigger you most um, in developing. Like maybe for Chavi, maybe you got it clear that the location isn't a factor for you, and you can develop in that way wherever you are, and you just find different stimuli.
Hmm. Correct. Yeah, like,
Correct.
yeah, I love building and growing. I've learnt that over time. And I
Yeah.
kind of like the analogy, if you've got a tree, right? If you plant that seed in a
Mm.
spot, the only way that that tree is going to grow is if you leave it in that spot. You can't keep moving it around. Otherwise, you'll cut its growth, you know, for
We're
that
not trace,
particular
man.
area of your life. So if you want to keep jumping around, sure, go for it. But you're going to grow in a very you're going to grow in all sorts of areas a little bit. Or maybe you're going to grow in the traveling realm. You know, you're going to be really good at finding hostels. Awesome. But like, you know, like what about your family? If you're going to have a great family, it's better to stay in one spot, I think, and grow. I don't know. What is the issue?
We're trying to cope with your internet, man. We're doing our best. Just keep going. It's doing great.
I can't hear anything, man. My internet's fucked.
Chavi. No, we lost him. The, the thing is, he is recording his video on his local machine. So in the end result,
Oh,
everyone will hear him properly. We will be laughing at what he was
oh,
saying.
great! Oh, that's incredible, man. That's incredible, man.
Well,
I didn't know that. Wait, yeah, just
yeah, this is
are
why.
you gonna reply to
This is
Charlie?
why
Yeah,
this is
Wait,
such a good
I'm
tool.
gonna should I turn my camera
Yeah,
off?
it's a great tool. It's a great tool.
No, don't, because you are recording it properly. It's just us that we cannot hear you, but the audience, quote unquote, will hear you.
Oh, you said last time we recorded it, I couldn't find it on my machine.
And
Right.
even with your camera off. No, it's not saving it on your machine. It's recording it on your machine, and then it's getting upload to the cloud. So if
I've
you
lost
see
you both guys now.
in the right top corner,
Santi,
you'll
can you
see
hear me now?
uploading. That's how much of your recording has been uploaded.
Hello? Charlie, I think we're together, man. Have we lost Martin?
Yeah, I'm using my phone's internet. My internet in my house is down.
Okay, great.
So
All right.
the hostel cut him
No
off.
worries, mate. Yo, just to reply to what you said, he needs to check in, man. He hasn't been able to check. It's like you're not checked in yet. Xavi, yeah, I see how, because Martin immediately replied to you saying that we're not trees, right? Which is
Pretty
a good
smart.
point, but I understand it for your analogy. What? I understand your analogy as that for some projects or for some aspects it's good to remain put, or else, well, I see it more of don't get distracted with whatever you want to do. Not literally staying put like a tree, but I see that analogy as just trying to, if you're decided to grow a tree, then grow the tree. And if you decided that you wanted to read 20 books a month, whether that's in any part of the world, just read the 20 books. I'm not sure I see the analogy as actually literally staying put.
Well, it depends what you value, I guess. Like, it doesn't have to be geographical location. You're right. It's all about being consistent. But like, if you want the dreams of growing an amazing business, like, you got to be there. You can't, like, it's not good to be in, I don't know, Germany while running a business in Australia. It's not the smartest thing in the
Mhm.
world. Or if you want to get really good at running, well, run.
It's not that weird though.
But travel, like, huh? I feel like travel is almost like a stopgap thing. It's like you really don't
Yeah,
know
I
what
was
you
just
want to
saying.
do. You've not decided on anything. Great, I'm just going to travel because I've got fucking time. Like,
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
man.
going to be the most disastrous episode ever.
I imagine the actual camera recordings after, they're gonna be a mess.
Yeah,
Chavi, why don't you
I'm
tell us a
stoked to
bit
see them.
about? No, it's you, Martin. Chavi, why don't you tell us a bit about, like, going back to the university thing? I really wanted to hear your thoughts on what you valued out of your time in uni. What did you feel like all that money, time, and effort returned to you?
man, university. I don't know. For what I did, university was almost pointless. Like, I nearly learnt nothing like valuable for me. Well, that's not that. Look, that's not true. Actually, I think I learnt plenty of valuable things. I think I learnt the value of community. I think I learnt, the value of, I guess, learning about something when you're actually passionate as opposed to doing something that people tell you to, which I think is an important lesson to learn. Because at uni, I just did it. And as soon as I got out of uni and started learning things that I just wanted to, oh man, you start crushing it, you know?
Mm.
So they're just important lessons to learn, I guess. And if it costs what, $90,000 or $30,000 to do it, sure, why not? It's worth it. But in terms of the actual content, you know, the finance content that I learnt, I didn't even agree with it when I was there. Like, I was like, man, what are we learning? Why are you guys teaching this from the 1960s? Like, this is just rubbish theory, you know? Like, we learnt something called Keynesian economics, which I fundamentally disagreed with. I was like, this is rubbish. Like, this is not how the economy works. So why am I learning it?
Yeah.
But anyways,
What do you mean? I mean, yeah, I understand. It's hard to teach economics because everyone has a different opinion on economics. And that's the thing about social sciences, that people have different opinions about it. But for what it's worth, Keynesian finances or Keynesian economics is basically what moves pretty much the whole Europe countries.
He's gone.
Man,
He's gone again.
this episode is going to be so bad.
He's gone, man. Fuck.
So bad.
What were you saying? I was very interested in what you were saying, but I got distracted with Charlie.
Yeah, I was just saying that teaching economics or finances is hard because as social sciences, everyone has different opinions on them. And saying that Keynesian economies do not work, or it's like just watch Europe, man. Most of Europe, it's basically Keynesian economics.
Right. Well, wait, what's that, Che? No, yeah, and also not only that, but learning from other economic systems has its advantages, even if you don't agree with them, like Xavi said he did.
Yeah.
You know, I
But I
feel
agree
very
with him
similar
that
to.
go.
No. You go.
No, yeah, I was just reaffirming Chavi's point that for the most part, most people, 90%, if not more, of the stuff they learn in university, like subjects, they don't use it ever in their work life.
Yeah. I've had to come to terms with that, and that's just how it is because I'm already halfway through with it, and some of the most revolutionary people might say like, nah, if you're already saying this, then get out of uni. But I've only got a semester left. I've already come to terms with that some subjects are really challenging and they help you learn how to overcome challenges, and won't matter to you that much in your professional life. Also, some of them may have steered you away from certain industries that otherwise you wouldn't have known if they were something you'd like or not. Like, I know for sure I don't like the chemical industry, or I don't know for sure, but I have some ways of knowing after the subjects I've had.
Yeah, but that's
that I don't see
endless.
myself there. That is endless. Yep. There's infinite industries, or there's a lot of industries, but it gives you a certain.
No. What I was saying
idea.
was endless is that you will never know if you actually like or not something for sure until you do it, and there are endless things to do or not do. So,
like, one course won't give you the whole picture.
Beauty of life.
No, it's not that what I'm saying. Fuck you, Chavi. Fuck you.
What? Why?
Because everything you say comes like 15 seconds on delay, so It's like you just interrupt everyone all the time with just
No,
nonsense.
I love
no, the
it. I
beauty of
love it.
life, bro. Not knowing what everything holds, man. It's fucking great. I switched to my phone, so now like I'm actually on time.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Now you're great.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Hey, Martin, hold on.
Juan. You know, yeah. I have to say I've gone through what I was mentioning to Martin. Said I've had a pretty similar experience in uni. Um, just like you, Chavi. I've had to come to terms with that some subjects are just very challenging, and they've helped me overcome challenges, and that in some sort of sense is helping me grow. But in the terms of the subject contents, I'm quite sure that a lot of it's not gonna matter for my professional life. Um, and there is though a midpoint, I would say, in your uni life in which you realize this. At least it depends on the level of maybe maturity that you enter uni with. But when I entered it, I was 100% certain that that was the way to go, and that I was going to learn valuable things. And up until like the second or third year, I was still convinced of that. It was not until the fourth year or now fifth that I tell myself like I'm ready to head into the work workforce, not workforce, but like
Yeah,
the
the
work
workforce,
scene.
correct.
Okay,
Uh,
guys, I have a question for both of you. If you were able to go back before you started uni, with the knowledge you have now, not about the subjects of uni, but like the experience you have now about how it is, would you go into uni again?
it's a good
Yes,
question though.
I would, but I'd completely change the way that I did it because I don't think I got
Mm,
full value out of it. And I think uni's incredibly valuable, actually.
Explain.
Well, uni, I think university is actually about discovery. That's what uni is, you know? And that's how it's funded and all that kind of, well, not funded, but that's the best part of it. So the best part of it is, when you're researching to find something novel and new, as opposed to trying to get marks to pass class. Two completely different things. And university is a place where there's an amazing amount of resources to help you push you onto discovery, whether that's finding very intelligent people, passionate people, or having the tools and capabilities to discover things, having the business platforms to research, having I don't know, the labs to do your laboratories, whatever, meeting spaces to do meetings. It's an awesome place for that. But what I used it for was to get a certificate. That's on me, and I just did it wrong. Like, that's just not how you're meant to do uni, I don't think.
So you
but a
would
lot
go
of
back
people
then?
do it wrong in that sense. A lot of people do it wrong in that sense.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So yeah,
Um,
I'd go back, and yeah, I think a lot of people go to uni, say that uni's an issue because university makes you just get results, and I'm just part. No, no, no. That's an attitude. That's your attitude or our attitude. That was my attitude. Like it was just I'm here just to get this degree and stuff off. But because that was my attitude, I didn't like uni. If my, you know, if my view of uni was, wow, I'm so excited to learn this and grow and I want to make change and I want to influence all that kind of stuff and discover something new, mate, I would have loved uni. The pieces I would have written, the essays would have been awesome because I actually cared, you know? Anyways, that's just my opinion.
yeah, I mean, I understand what you're trying to say, but if you already went through uni not long ago, just a year ago, and you
Mm.
didn't do that, it's because your motivation just wasn't there. Would you have forced yourself to be motivated in that way? I don't think uni motivates you to do those things. I don't think
Sh-
or maybe the
should it?
system's not geared in a way. I think it should. I think Chavi's right in that it has a lot of incredible facilities and people that you can you know, do collaborate and do incredible projects with. So I
Yeah,
think
but
it
is
should.
it university's responsibility to motivate you? Uh, I don't know.
I think it's not
I think
university
it does. I
responsibility.
think
Oh
it
no,
is.
it
Yeah.
does something.
No, I was seeing it. My opinion is that it is one of their focal points. That's why they have institutions like the student not councils, but the people that organize activities, and they want to promote student organizations forming, and they fund projects, that they're trying to motivate people. He's gone. They're trying to motivate people.
And
Uh,
he's back. I agree with you, man. I thought I wasn't, but I do agree with you now.
yeah, I think you pay just like what parents pay for school for, and that's to for the institution to help you grow
Mm,
Yeah, I
in more
agree,
yeah.
man,
ways than just the
100%.
subjects.
Yeah, but you can
So I
also not
think,
rely on that because there's a lot
yeah,
of
no,
people
no,
that would pay university and just say, "Oh, it's just university's fault because they haven't motivated me." It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's like
no,
50-50, man.
yeah, absolutely. In fact, when I replied to Chavi, like, you just finished uni and you didn't do it, it was more of a call for Chavi to question if he would have done it in the first place, if he were to go back and do it all over again, because if the
Mm,
motivation wasn't there. But then that's why your question is so good, Martin, because we're now different people from the people that we started. So, and if we
Would you go
were to
back,
go
Santi?
back, would I go back?
looks
you
like you're
know,
depressed, man.
yeah, because I was thinking about it, and I'm not sure. I, you know, I am maybe I'm a bit a assertive, or risk aversive. Is that the term?
Yeah, risk
And
averse.
because we live, yeah, and because we live in a society, we live in a society. Marty's gonna laugh at that one. Because we live in a society that values the certificate, then that is for me a factor to take into
I think
account.
we used to live in one that did. I think now we still do, but way less, and it's getting less and less every day.
Mm,
And as that happens, universities are going to change more and more, or that's what I think. Although they're very bureaucratic, um, I mean, my hope is for that in 20 years' time, bachelors are no longer 4 or 5 years, but instead 2 or 1, 2. You know?
Yeah, I think there will be many different models of education, and people will just choose what's according to their way of learning and their career path and whatever. And we see that already in tech. And in tech, we see it in marketing, we see it in design. You can either go to
mm,
university, you can either do online courses, you can go to boot camps, you can read books, you can, like, there are many ways of doing it. And for sure, there will be born many of other kinds of institutions. And I'm hoping that will be the case also for many other careers as well.
mm.
Man, it's such a hard question, man, because I'm the person I am today because of uni as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
I wouldn't
so
have met you guys if I didn't have uni. Interestingly.
right,
Okay,
right. So it's
let me
hard to
change
say,
the
like,
question. Let me rephrase it. Tomorrow you wake up and you haven't done any university, any of your degree. You have to start from day one. Will you do it?
I would absolutely not, because I already have the knowledge. Not right. That okay. I think I understand your question. I don't have the subject knowledge, so like the contents of the course, but I have the growth that uni has given me indirectly.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Right. Then
No,
yeah,
no,
I
no,
wouldn't. I wouldn't
no.
go to uni.
I mean, no, because you can get growth out of other activities. I'm meaning knowing the growth that you can get out of university. Um, would you still not go knowing that you can maybe get it somewhere else? Maybe. I know I would, but that's why I'm asking.
I'm not sure if I fully understand the question, but I'd say yes. Like from what I understood, yeah,
Okay,
I would not
you
go
you
uni.
know how much growth and what kind of growth you've gotten out of university, right?
Right.
Do you think you can get the same or even more growth out of doing other things that are not university in the same amount of time?
Yep. I think so.
Would that be enough to make you take the decision? Knowing only that, not having the growth, but knowing that you will get more growth out of not going to university and doing
Mm.
other things. Would you then take the decision to not go to university and do those other things?
Man, I'll go to university, bro. I'll go. I think it's worth it. I think it's a great.
It's
I
the
think
safe.
people.
It's the safe bet, man.
I think we undervalue how good the education is at university. I think, and I think it's a personal problem, not a. I mean,
No,
yeah,
I don't think so.
systematically it's not the best. I don't think uni's amazing, but I think it's a personal issue of like not being passionate. Like, would you go? Okay, Martin, would you if Harvard University offered you a coding course, would you go?
Oh, no, only if it was about quantum computing. Because quantum computers are only available in like institutions because they're so expensive, and there would be no way for you to study that on your own.
Hmm.
But anything else, I would just study it on my own.
Yeah. So this is exactly what I was saying before. Then the resources that uni provides you makes uni worthwhile. Like for example, like get this. There's a program that you get on that you get when you're a business student. It's called I think it's called what was it called? Market Line. There's Market Line. There's HB World Review or whatever. If you were to buy all those programs on your own, they're all like 10, 15 grand subscriptions, you know, but you pay uni 10 grand a year. And there's just that. Not no community, no education, it's just that package deal. Like really, university's very worthwhile if you're actually going to use the resources. If you're not, it's not. So, for example, you like quantum computing. If you're going to use a quantum computer, guess what? Uni's worthwhile. But if you go there and you're not motivated and you don't use it, well, why are you there? you know, like,
Yeah, but I I wouldn't use that as an argument because you could pay university to get those courses that you just mentioned and then don't not go to university and just use the courses or whatever it was that
use
you
the
said.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
What,
if
but
the
no,
only
but we're talking about
or the
universities
only
as an
or one of the
institution.
main arguments to go to university are those courses, why don't you just pay the university for those courses that are cheaper and use those courses and not go to university?
But, well, this is the difference between tech learning and university, and this is kind of a bit of the discussion, right? Why not just go tech and do it all on your own? Well, tech companies don't have the resources. You know, you lack the community, so you're not surrounding yourself with very intelligent people a lot that are also passionate. These are things that are fundamentally a part of university, and if you don't realize their value,
I disagree
then
again, man. I disagree again.
no way, bro. How?
What do you mean you don't surround with smart people? Like
No,
all
I'm
that
not
I
saying
did for
smart
like
people, but like
the
people that
years that
are.
I studied was surround myself with super smart people.
So when you were studying online, did you study with people that were also doing it, or did you do it on your own? I thought you did it all on your own.
It was on my own, but sometimes you have doubts. Sometimes you have questions. You ask teachers. You ask other people that are also learning. You have communities like online communities. You can. There are discords. There are like comments on the different courses. There are many resources for you to create like online communities. Um, to this day, I'm still friend with one of my teachers from one of the courses, and we speak regularly. Like you do meet people. Like don't think that's a solo thing. You're definitely not all the time with a lot of people, but you do meet people.
Okay, so then really then online courses, you'd say there's also the same level of community or a similar level of community. You're still hanging around with, people. And when I say intelligent people, I'm talking about like the professors and stuff at university. No offense to like the other people learning, like they're pretty smart. But like I'm talking about the
Yeah,
people that like have had, skin in the game, have been in there for a long time. So I guess these professors on online are also like very respected, right? So then really it's only the resources. I mean, you just
disagree.
don't get those
I
resources
disagree
online.
again.
What do you mean?
There are professors that are just professors because they got hired. They're not necessarily like
No,
masters of their topics.
yeah,
No,
but in
I'm
a good
kidding.
university, you'd have professors with PhDs and a lot of, or the whole point of the
But
subject.
again, what is a PhD? We just stated that you don't get much knowledge in the
Not only
subjects out of
PhDs, that
a
that was one of
degree.
the, except
So what does a
I'd
degree
argue that
actually
if
mean?
someone's gotten a PhD, it shows like a tremendous like expertise in the area. Just
No, but it's what
if
a
there's a
PhD
certificate that comes
is.
from an official institution, then it's
Like a
PhD for
P,
sure.
sorry, a
I
PhD
wouldn't
is
say it means.
fundamentally different to a bachelor's degree. Like completely different. A PhD is all about discovery and research, and you've had a team of researchers and you've actually found a novel topic and been recognized for it. So these professors, they've made discoveries, you know? Like imagine, I don't know, like Stephen Hawking had a PhD. There we are. Like my professors had
Yeah, but
PhDs and they made
it's
awesome discoveries. Like they're the people you're learning from, you know?
yeah, but okay. First thing, it's not the PhD that makes Stephen Hawking's the best one in all the astronomy field. It was Stephen Hawking. The fact that he has a PhD is not what it makes him. It's just another thing. And all the teachers and professors at our university, not all of them have PhD. Some of them, for sure. Most of them in like high valuable universities. But I don't think in Chile most teachers in universities have PhDs. For example.
Depends on the in my uni, yeah.
In my uni, yeah. Man, I think you're just biased against university, bro.
No, man. I'm just against this like how do you say godnification, like believing that teachers and professors are like gods that know everything about that field. Many times I've seen like um, different projects and exams that teachers do to my friends, and I'm like, this is like about programming, and I'm saying like this is not right. This is not the best thing that you could do, and they are supposed to be like the masters at them. They're fucking professors at university. And if even if I know that in programming, for sure there might be on other fields as well.
Yeah,
We lost him again.
I've gotten used to Chubby leaving us now. Um, yeah, it's a good question. I think everyone should ask themselves that question. Um, anyone listening that's gone through uni or uh, that's going through uni right now, they should ask themselves if they would enter uni again. I think it's a good question just to gauge how much you've actually learned, um, and are aware of the decisions you make, um, and if traditional teaching style, like a professor standing in front of the class and such, actually stimulates your learning or not. It's good to know for like for
Mm,
future use.
yeah, it's so tough. This question goes so deep, though. Like it's so like to ask people if professors and that kind of learning style is good for them because I think learning it's very much an attitude, and the way that you uh, come to it. So, and don't think a lot of people have a good attitude towards learning. So,
Um,
um, yeah, it's
I think
tough.
I think it's a like you've said before, it's a mix of attitude and motivation. Attitude, I think you can change, and like and like improve. But motivation, I think motivation is half of that, and you can't change motivation just like that.
Please, let's change motivation for discipline, please.
Mm.
No, man. Motivation. What's wrong with motivation?
Because
I
motivation
mean,
comes and go, man.
yeah, but motivation comes in.
You should be able to do what you're supposed to do even if you don't have motivation.
No, you're supposed to do what you want to do. Other than like satisfying your
I disagree.
responsibilities. You have some responsibilities, but not everything is because you have to do it.
Yeah, but maybe most days you won't, probably most days you won't feel like doing your chores, but you have to do them.
All right, if
And
we're
that's
talking about
discipline. That's not motivation.
if you were talking about a responsibility, you can't delete motivation. Motivation needs to be taken into account in every scenario in life. You need to pay attention to what
Disagree.
motivates you. I mean, if you let it affect you, then that's a problem. If you need to be disciplined and fulfill a responsibility, but you can't ignore motivation, and you need to listen to it. It
I
speaks
think
of how important.
motivation is like the igniter, like the thing that starts your road, but then it will go away sooner or later.
But it goes away for a reason. Things happen. Like not only things change in the regard of whatever you're trying to accomplish, but also things external to that. Like maybe I don't know. You made a new group of friends and they all like skiing. So now you've gone and you've started skiing a lot more, and you now like skiing, and you're no longer motivated to do that project you had in the first place. Like I think that's natural, and
Yeah,
it's
but
good for that to happen as
that
well.
that you're mixing motivation with goals. If your goal now is to be a professional skier, then yeah.
No, No, if you were motivated to maybe do a new business, start a new business, and now you no longer can, or is like left that aside because now you've started skiing, not to become a professional skier, but you just started skiing, then I think that if it's not empirical for you to do that business because maybe you have other ways of earning money, then it's completely fine for you to go ahead and lose the motivation to do the
Yeah,
business.
but that's because you changed
Bro,
your
I
goal.
think you guys are talking about the same thing, just
That's
different words.
because
Like,
you
it really
changed your
doesn't matter.
goal.
Like,
No, what I'm trying to do, Chubby, is
yeah.
I really think motivation. Yeah, maybe we're talking about different words.
So it's the same thing. It's the
Maybe
same
we're
thing, just said different. Like, discipline and motivation are so intrinsically linked, it's not funny. Like,
I disagree as well.
no way, bro. It's the same thing, man. It's like, if I said to you,
No, because
if I said to you,
motivation is when you
I'm not
say,
motivated. No, let's go. I'll give you an example. Fuck it. If I'm not motivated to get out of bed today, right? Or I don't have the energy to get out of bed today, and you do it anyways, that's discipline, right? But
yeah,
let's go a step further. Are you motivated to be disciplined? Yes. So if you have a motivation for discipline, then you do something even though you don't have the motivation to do that thing because your motivation is for discipline. So I could keep going, and then we could go further back again. So it's almost the same
I,
concept, man.
no, I think that's a misconception of motivation.
No. So do you have a motivation to
wait,
be
Oh,
disciplined?
no.
wait. I'm looking up the meaning
Again,
of the.
I think we have different meanings of the words motivation. Because for me, motivation is when let's say you're fighting, you want to get skinny. You say, okay, let's go, let's do some sport. I want to get skinny. Hey. That's motivation for me.
Nah,
And
that's not
then
motivation,
discipline
man.
is that is motivation.
Nah, bro. That's enthusiasm. Or like that's like
Wait,
like
No,
I don't know.
no, man. Wait, motivation's a
enthusiasm
reason or
is a way.
reasons for motivation's a reason or reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way. So let's do the example Martin's saying. You want to lose weight. A reason might be your motivation or reason might be to become skinny, right?
Hmm.
And then discipline the practice of train someone, or I believe yourself, to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. Well, um, well, I think we can like the first part goes to training yourself to obey rules. So
Mm.
discipline is the mean towards how you achieve your motivation.
Yeah.
What if
So
you no longer want to
the
become
book
skinny?
meaning the book meaning of motivation is not the meaning I was thinking of.
Mm.
Okay, there we have it.
Having that definition, then yes, because that definition is basically the same that I was referring to as goals. But I think usually what happens is that when you set goals, you get motivated and okay, let's say enthusiastic, and people rely on that enthusiasm, which I was using as motivation just before. Rely on that, and then as soon as it goes away, then even if they still have their goal, that goal like set, they won't do anything about it, and that's when you need discipline, and that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
But you can. Okay, well, yeah. No, I need to gather my thoughts around motivation. I'm motivated to gather my thoughts around motivation. Let's
What's
see
your
if I
reason,
follow
man?
through. I'm
What's
enthusiastic.
your motivation?
What's my reason? I wanna because in my mind, in my like how I've learned is that motivation can change, and you can't do nothing about it. You can't do anything about it, and um, yeah, you can't do anything about losing motivation in something, and it's completely fine for you to not to
Mm.
stop being disciplined, because you've now listened to what motivates you.
Mm.
Motivation is more intrinsic, and you don't decide
Yeah.
on
So
what motivates you.
if you lose motivation, speaking in that definition that you just read, Santi, it just means that you're not sure about your goals. You're not sure if you
Mm.
actually want what you thought you wanted. In that
Actually,
sense, I'm okay. Like
I really love this new definition of motivation because for me, it's a little bit new as well. Like for me, I almost thought motivation was essentially discipline. Like it was like being structured and, having a sense of, you know, I don't know, direction, I guess. But I love this whole idea that motivation is the reason because often when I stop doing something or when I stop wanting to go to where I want to go, it's because I lose the vision of the goal that I set out prior. All these other distractions get in the way, or this or that or da 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 da. I actually do lose my motivation, which is so cool. Like that's great. Yep. Mm. Like losing your motivation is losing your vision almost for your goals and your reason. You got to You got to focus on the reason.
I don't agree, man. I don't agree. I think motivation is an ever changing. Like it's not the first goal you put for yourself. That's a goal. Motivation is an ever changing reason for acting or behaving in a particular way. Your motivation is not the same as when you put that goal, or that might happen. So
Mm.
when you've lost motivation, you've not
yeah.
lost
So
the
okay,
goal. The goal's still
let's
there,
let's
but
let's go back
you've lost the
to the
reasons
example
to
of
achieve
being
that goal.
skinny. Let's go back to the example of being skinny. So the goal or the objective is to get skinny, but the motive, the motivation might be because you're not as fast, you're not as agile, uh, you don't look how you look. I don't know, it might be hundreds of reasons. So those are not the same, but they are super related.
Mm.
Right. but then you've set the goal to become skinny, and now in 2 weeks time, you maybe now feel comfortable with your weight. You don't care about being agile, and then you now have to reset your goal based on your motivation. That's what I'm trying to say. Motivation needs to be listened to,
Yeah.
because
Constantly, yeah.
because you don't you're gonna want to change your discipline in the way you're achieving that goal, because that goal no longer fits your motivation.
I like
Love
that.
it.
I like that. It's just that I think sometimes, um, we think we're we don't want that goal anymore, and it's just our system self-sabotaging us because we don't feel comfortable with that thing.
That's a big thing. Yeah, for sure. That's yeah.
Something like that's the big one, man.
That was the one bit that I was missing.
Yeah, no, you can't back out because you're, yeah. I guess motivation needs to have that. I see it as as an, like, this is your motivation, and there's like an outer layer, and sometimes that outer layer is like it's like broken, because you the
Oh.
motivation is still there, but it starts like deteriorating because it's becoming harder to to achieve that, to
Mm.
achieve the goal. Man. Motivation can't break. You can't let it break because it's hard to achieve. Wow, man.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're
Should we
right.
wrap it out?
Yeah.
Santi, you
Wrap it
started
up, man.
us off. Do you want to wrap us up, man?
Of course, man. I thought you had something to say.
No.
Anyways, it's been a fun podcast, even though we've had some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I hope
It's
it
gonna
doesn't
be
hear bad.
funny. It's gonna be funny ass to hear it back, and yeah, I've thought a lot, man. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Mm.
See you on the next one.
See you. Bye bye.
Good luck, guys. Have a
Ciao.
great day. A great week.